Hello everyone and welcome back to another New World video. My name's Brian if you happen to be new to the channel, but if you're part of this impressive 16,522 of y'all, welcome in and welcome back, especially to the 949 of y'all who've hit that subscribe button in the last month alone. I believe in transparency here, so I'm going to share my numbers with you guys. Let me know if that ever bothers you, if we ever have a conversation about it, but I think it's important, and that's something that I try to do when I talk about video game content here on YouTube, because there's a lot of mystery, there's a lot of bad actors out there, and I just want to be as honest as possible with you guys in each and every video. Now, it's important to say, like, the like callouts, the like challenges, you guys keep responding. Overall, the last couple of videos blown past the 50 like challenge. So I'm going to see if it's possible. Could we do a humble 100 likes on this video as a great way of supporting the content here at the channel? Thank you so much if you do step up for that challenge. But we've got a lot of topics we got a lot of comments to cover. This is a comment section video, by the way, and that means I like to go and source what you guys have to say. So we got some positive, we got some negative, should hopefully make a really good discussion video, especially about the marketing when it comes to New World. And if you guys haven't seen yesterday, they also announced the Call of the Wilds. This is something very important when it comes to what they're doing, and they have listed off featured streamers, a lot of really great content creators. I'm very, very happy for them. And no, I'm not on that list, and that's just not surprising considering I got 6 kids, bro. Like, I can't do this streaming thing, and that isn't something that's driving me. But guys, I'll include a link to the article if you guys want to go find a new streamer or go support one that will be streaming and getting those drops, because that is one of the things that New World has in spades. It's advertising and so much more. But let's kick it off with the comments, because this is a long ass intro and it's time to do why you clicked on the video in the first place. Jay Oddity replying to last video saying, much love, thank you for the shout out. I completely agree about the cross-world arena and expedition. I know it's hard to code, but I don't want the under the egg, but damn, that would have been so good in season 3. The marketing just feels a little bit meh right now. And honestly, that's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward, because the real topic of this video is from Simon, who says fresh start servers could create a lot of hype again. And kind of marrying these things together, my one critique about the fresh start, even when it was announced, you can go back a year's time and you can go confirm if you don't believe me, because I continue to say the lack of cross server play, not to sit here and say you're going to transfer off of a fresh start, but the inability to OPR and arena and expedition when the hype dies down. Because the thing that hype is, it's fun to be a part of, but it doesn't truly represent a true community. And when you have a game such as New World where servers matter, players who want to play on a smaller server or end up disincentivized. They're punished for doing so, where the benefits of playing on a small server is less, competition for resources. You could get into more wars. You could do more of what you want. And that's the appeal of a fresh start. That's also the appeal of these worlds. Now, I participated in the fresh start event last year. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. I was very tired. And so for me, I'm personally fine if they decide to hold off on a fresh start server for any short period of time. I do suspect that we will start to see some things like this maybe come back into play, but we're going to have to wait and see. It does not feel like they're going to line this up with an expansion, but I think a fresh start server would align with a console release. Now, why do I believe there's going to be a console release? Well, A, we know that controller support is coming. B, we know that the Lord of the Rings MMO, which is built in the same engine by the same studio, is also coming to console. And so I think New World ends up serving as a really good training exercise and learning from the technology perspective for those things to happen. So I think New World's going to benefit greatly from Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings is going to benefit greatly from what they're doing here in New World. So the timing on this, well, clearly not this fall, but who knows? Next year is going to be interesting, and I'll be sure to be breaking down all the news and coverage for you. So if you like New World content, you're already in the right spot. be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. But on moving on, DH says, TBH, this expansion, in quotes, feels hollow, and I wish they had some major PvP updates. I do agree. Like OPR or some other kinds of raids, etc. The new content looks stunning and the mounts do too, but I'm scared for endgame, so I'm not buying this one when it launches. And that's perfectly fine. You can always wait and see to feel what ends up making the most sense for you. Never feel pressured. My goal here isn't to sell you New World. I don't get a penny if you do. I think actually I have an affiliate link. Maybe I should try to make a little money off of telling people how good this game is, but beyond just the advertising that comes in from Google, like that's pretty much it. But guys, I do feel like this is what we're going to expect from the expansion model and the season model, and overall I feel the content pacing is going to be something that's going to allow you to dip in and dip out, to take breaks and to enjoy. I would want to see them keep your battle pass. If I could keep that battle pass progression and equip it like I can in Halo, like I can in Wayfinder, then I think this would be kind of almost the perfect system in the long run. But you can let me know what you think. Concept says, I'm super keen on the expansion and will definitely be playing New World again. So there's plenty of people who've been on a break and are looking forward to it. Now Duns says 4K hours since launch, and I'm happy that I found New World. I'm glad you did too. 4K hours, that's impressive. It's one of the things that I find lacking when it comes to my game time. The ability to actually play games from time to time when I'm juggling all the kids and all the activities and all the homework and lunches. Life gets in the way. But that's the thing I feel like I can bring to the conversation is a level of relatability. I'm going to work after I film this. I'm going to be at work, and then I'm going to come play with the kids, and maybe I'm going to get some game time in this evening. We'll see. Churn, in this case, says, I'm coming back to the game for this expansion, but I feel like nobody who doesn't follow New World has any idea that it's coming out. And in a way, with the way this game as a service is, like, there's so much going on. There's so much to, other things to talk about. In a way, like I would just let the expansion drop, let season 4 drop, and then look at the roadmap, and then all of a sudden people are like, oh, there's an expansion, and kind of sit on the sit on the marking budget a little. But you guys can let me know how you feel about that. Fujin says a lot of critique from the first launch was because them being unable to handle the amount of players, queues and crashes all the time. Maybe they hope to attract less people that will stay around after launch. And this is actually kind of the thing. Hype doesn't truly represent a really engaged number. I think it's going to be obviously about the finances here. I think they've got the game in a decently monetized way, right? You can pay for the seasons optionally if you choose to do so. You have an expansion. It gives you that touch-in point, and it's going to be curious. Like the questions that I all have all relate to this time next year. Is there another paid expansion? Is there a bundle? Like, how are they looking at this? We're already seeing them bundle it. So the question ends up being, is each expansion going to be a la carte? Is it going to be self-contained so that you can choose to buy and choose? Or is it going to go the Final Fantasy XIV model? Is it going to stack it all together so the latest expansion gives you all previous expansions? Ultimately, not really sure. We're going to have to wait and see, and you guys can let me know what you're thinking and feeling about this, because obviously right now this is just the prediction model, and we'll just go from there. And then this time next year we'll have a much clearer picture about what the future of New World holds. Timbo says they really failed to generate the hype. IMO. I got 700 hours of New World and stopped about a year ago, but played a bit of Brimstone. I also follow the subreddit, but so despite I'm being the target audience, I barely get any of the info and that expansion when it's coming out soon, and compared with Brimstone, I'm not even that excited for this release. It's got some features, it's got things that really kind of bring it more in line with it, but it isn't something where Brimstone was like, obviously a new zone. This is a remade zone, so it doesn't feel like that's a plus. It doesn't feel like it's a minus, but I feel like their zones have gotten better, and I'm glad to see First Light really kind of blossoming into the Elysian wilds. But when it comes down to it, I'm more curious about what happens after season 4 at this point, and that's where I want to see them take it. Now, Dark Scream says roadmaps are very important for MMORPGs. Without them, it feels like the devs are making things up as they go along. And to be clear, I think every studio has a roadmap. You definitely want one, and I want a New World to provide us a little bit more of a vague one that is pushing further out, right? For example, this expansion here, I think we should not have to wait a year before learning of the next expansion. If that ends up being the case, I think sometime in the spring it would make sense that there's an expansion to kind of build up that kind of process. But I don't think they need to tell us absolutely everything on their roadmap, so it's important that they have one. The question ends up being how do they structure it for us? I wish they push a little bit further down the list, but I know that they're trying to make sure that they can deliver on everything there. It is a tough line and a tough balance to walk. Anyway, they continue. And they can't really get into this game since you never know what to expect. 1 to 2 years is fine. It doesn't have to be the 10-year plan, clearly, but it doesn't but it does need to just show us what they're planning. When a company can't do this, it generally means they have production problems, management issues, and can't properly estimate how long things will take. Any game like that isn't worth playing. And so I think from what we've seen, the biggest miss that they've had this year was not launching season 1 when they said they would, but they launched season 2 when they said they would. And as we go into October the 3rd for the launch of this game, which you can't pre-order, but you can buy it on the 3rd, that all just kind of means like as long as that goes really well, I think then we're seeing a company that's got its stuff in line. It's getting everything moving forward, and the further they can make that that case, that discipline, that march, I think overall the better for everybody involved. But that's going to be interesting to see what happens next week. I feel like it's going to go smoothly. At least that's the hopium that runs through my veins. But we'll ultimately have to, I'll let you guys know, and I will be playing on the 3rd. I just don't know when. So if you guys want, you can always get a part of the Discords where we talk about this game, where we try to help each other out when we can, when we team up and play video games. And sometimes occasionally I do stream if you guys want to hang out. So that's going to be, you're already in this right spot for the content and so much more. So thank you guys so much for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully I will see you in the next video. But until then, take care.